What's up, guys? Gonna walk through UFC Vegas 35 for a little bit. Get ready for tonight, answer any questions, help each other out, get some bets going, lock in our DraftKings lineups, make sure everybody's ready to make some money tonight and enjoy some fights. What's up, Josh? Jesse, how you guys doing? It's an interesting card. You guys looking forward to this card? It's weird because on paper, before I started breaking it down, what's up, Jax? Before I started breaking it down, doing all of our research and stuff, I thought it was a pretty weak card, honestly. And then once you start breaking down cards and doing research and getting into it, all of a sudden, you know, you get a little more excited about some of these what seem like weaker cards. Eric, how you doing? What seem like weaker cards. So I actually think this is a decent card. It's sneaky good, especially if you watch the Ultimate Fighter. If you watch the Ultimate Fighter, then it is a good card. If you didn't watch the Ultimate Fighter, there's still some solid matchups in here. Some pretty cool fight. The main event is awesome. I mean, that's a fantastic main event, no matter what card you put that on. The co-main, if you watch the Ultimate Fighter, you care. If you don't, then you don't. What's up, Joe? The Meerschaert-Muradov fight, I like that one because it'll be very interesting to see how good Muradov actually is. Not that Meerschaert's a giant test or anything, but still. We'll get Meerschaert a nice big highlight win, and then all of a sudden he's fighting a name. Razak Al Hassan versus Kiriko. I mean, that's an interesting one. I mean, it's do or die for Abdul, and it'll give Kiriko a chance to build a name. But the one I'm looking forward to the most is definitely Kevin Lee versus Daniel Rodriguez. Definitely. I'm just super curious to see what happens. So obviously the main event will be the most exciting in my opinion, but I'm really looking forward to see what happens with Kevin Lee, Daniel Rodriguez. We got a bunch of bets going on. And Jack says you bet $100 on Barboza and $1,000 on Lee. Boy, you're that confident with Kevin Lee moving up in weight class with 2 busted up knees. Yikes. Certainly possible. I mean, he's the favorite. He should win, but we'll see what happens. Jesse, I'm grown into the card fight, like you said, but what makes this D-Rod Lee? Yeah, I agree. T-Rod and Lima for sure. Yeah, at least as far as there's just so many open questions. You know, it just will be interesting if Daniel Rodriguez beats Kevin Lee the way that I think he will. All of a sudden, Daniel Rodriguez, this was a short notice fight. He beat Mike Perry. Not that that's like a giant name, but he just won a short notice fight. All of a sudden, Daniel Rodriguez is a go-to guy. And he's winning some fights, so we'll see what happens. Muhammad Boston, Mana by KO, a good bet. Listen, I think so. I think it is. I mean, he should absolutely win. He's fighting a 40-something-year-old who doesn't have much of a chin left, but he did miss weight by 5 pounds, and his coach died. And that sounds crazy, but I mean, his coach literally died. So it may not matter to him. It may be the most, his coach could have been a father figure to him. I have no idea what that relationship was, but that's why I don't have Mana in my DraftKings lineup. I was experimenting with him instead of Muradov because he's cheaper and I think they both get knockouts. But, after he missed weight, he should win. He should still win. He should still dominate. He should still get a nice early knockout. But missing weight's not a great sign. Coach dying, terrible sign. So we'll see what happens. Jack asking about tomorrow's big fight. I forget who I was talking to in the chat or in the comments that somebody completely disagreed. So I said I thought that the Tyron Woodley Jake Paul fight would be entertaining and fun. I'm actually looking forward to watching it, honestly. I'm really looking forward to watching it. And somebody said, don't give them any attention. It's bad for the sport. It's bad for martial arts. I completely disagree. I could not disagree more. And I'll tell you why. One, Tyron Woodley's getting paid, man. If you're an MMA fan and you've been following Tyron Woodley's career and, oh my God, I've been up since 4 o'clock in the morning, so my brain is definitely foggy. Who the hell's the wrestler that just got knocked out with the chin? Oh my God, Ben Askren. Ben Askren just got paid. Tyron Woodley just got paid. These guys are getting paid more money than they've ever made before. So if you're a mixed martial arts fan and a UFC fan, how could you not be happy for those guys to make that kind of money? Second, I get it. It's a freak show fight. It's crazy. It's full of theatrics. But first of all, it's boxing, not MMA. Second of all, who cares? Like, who cares? I don't understand how Jake Paul being an absolute clown affects the UFC negatively. I don't understand. If anything, it helps the UFC because people will see, this is a professional sport. That's a sideshow act. And again, I said this in the comments, Conor McGregor, when he was doing what he was doing with the Nate Diaz tour, Conor McGregor, he's so bad for the sport. He makes the sport look bad. What a black eye for the sport. When he threw a dolly through the window, Conor McGregor's ruining the sport. It was the exact same narrative, and that didn't happen. So anyway, I'm looking forward to those fights tomorrow. I think Tyron Woodley wins. I mean, anything can happen. He is old. His chin's not great anymore, but man, he has been training martial arts, combat sports for 15 years. I'm not even including his wrestling credentials. I'm not including them. He's been with Duke Rufus for 10 years. Jake Paul decided he wanted to start experiment with boxing 5 years ago. So it just doesn't, to me, it doesn't compare. You have literally an elite athlete, NCAA national champion, UFC world champion versus a kid that just decided one day he wanted to start fighting. No background in combat sports whatsoever. Been training for a few years. Okay. I honestly would be genuinely surprised if Jake Paul wins. And the last thing I'll talk about this, because this is the UFC pre-show. The last thing I'll mention before we talk about UFC, it's better if Jake Paul wins. So I want Tyron Woodley to win. I hope he wins. I'm looking forward to the fights in general, but it is better if Jake Paul wins. If Jake Paul wins, he'll be even more unbearable. And we'll get an even bigger fight with a bigger name, probably Conor McGregor. And it's do I want to see Tyron Woodley knock that fool out, or do I want to see Conor McGregor knock that fool out? I don't know. One event will be much bigger than the other, but, so it's honestly probably better if Jake Paul wins. I just don't see him winning. Anything's possible. I just don't see it. So that's enough of that. Let's see what we got going on here. Josh, you think Daniel Rodriguez has it? I agree. I'm on the Daniel Rodriguez train. Jacob disagrees with me. And Dan is he is out of pocket this week. Normally, if he's traveling for work or on vacation, he'll still film something. He'll hop in for our Friday videos or send his lineup or something, but he is out of pocket legit. So I also have Rodriguez winning. And Jesse, you're talking about the will Tyron Woodley and Jake Paul touch gloves. What's funny about that is I filmed that prop bet breakdown. Watch that video. You can do it tomorrow. Today's UFC. Tomorrow, watch that video. Find a prop bet that you like. They're so much fun. If you go to WeWantPicks.com, you sign up. They're doing up to $1,000 instant deposit match. So get a free match. And after you do your deposit, let us know. And I will send you $20 in Venmo, PayPal, however you want it. Anyway, the line for the glove touch was plus 400, plus 350. I forget what it was. And then that press conference when he was Tyron Woodley's mother got into an argument with Jake Paul's team and all that. They stopped taking any bets on the will they touch gloves. They locked it. And then afterwards, when they brought it back up, now it's basically even money. So anybody who did no glove touch earlier in the week got plus 400 because there wasn't really any bad blood, normal fight hype, but not actual bad blood. And then after that press conference, they changed those odds. What's up, Big Bob? Big Bob says, I have a few different Knockout King lineups. What are your thoughts on Petrosky is live for a knockout? I got a little bit of Lee, Rodriguez, and Giga as my third options behind Mana and Muradov. I think all of those people are live. Petrosky, so it's knockouts and TKOs. So with Petrosky's wrestling, it could happen, right? I'm going to undo this because I'm blocked. But Petrosky's wrestling is so good. I see Petrosky winning the fight. I see Petrosky winning the fight. And honestly, he could just elbow in the mouth, get a doctor stoppage, a TKO, ref stoppage, and that counts for Knockout Kings. Knockout Kings is knockouts and TKOs, so just not submission. So Petrosky could. I showed you my Knockout Kings, and we'll do Monkey Knife Fight in a minute because I have I don't know what the hell's going on outside. You're banging outside my door. Oh well, I have $30 left to play, so I'll play that. What else we got here? Josh, I think Woodley wins, especially after his mom got dragged into it. Yeah, I mean, he should. My favorite value fighter for today. So first of all, here's my disclaimer. Everything you guys watch, it's what we are doing. It's our opinions. It's how we're spending our money. I know some of you, especially in these pre-fight live streams, hop in here. What's the best parlay? What's this? And you just want me to just give you free money. And, if I could, I would. But I hate that responsibility. I hate that people are laying their money out based on what I say. With that being said, you're not asking that question. You're saying who's the best value fighter? Let me look at the lineup here on my iPad. I think, first of all, I like Daniel Rodriguez. He's plus money. He's an underdog. What are the odds on Dustin Jacoby? I like Dustin Jacoby quite a bit. He's a favorite, but I don't think he's absurd. Those two probably. I mean, there's some giant expensive favorites on this card. And I mentioned this in the breakdown. I think most of the favorites win. I don't feel like this is a card loaded with underdogs. I think the favorites are going to come out and do what they're supposed to do. See what we got here. Josh agrees with the Petrosky piece. Big Bob, there you go. Yeah, I mean, if he gets a submission, you're not going to make any money in Knockout Kings. But that's why you get to pick 3 fighters, not just one. Giovanni, this seems like a good week to do a parlay. Jacoby, Mana, D-Rod, Muradov, plus 533. That's a good one. I mean, Derek's the only underdog there, and you're in 500 plus is good odds. And I do think it's a good week for a parlay, specifically because I think the favorites are going to win. So anytime, you have these giant favorites that you're pretty sure are going to win, you smack them together and you get much better odds. That's anytime I do a parlay, that's what I do. I take some big favorites, I smash them together, and I get better odds. Big Bob's DK lineup: Rodriguez, Giga, Turman, Muradov, Tershos, and Sabatini. What's his name? Wellington. So Wellington's training, and I'm from Connecticut. Dan's from Connecticut. We're both really good friends with Glover. Glover Teixeira was in Dan's wedding. So they're really, really good friends. And I've known Glover for a stupid long time. So Dan was just in Connecticut a few weeks ago, and he popped in the Glover's gym and was training and stuff like that. Wellington Turman's there training with them. And Dan, got some rounds in with them and said that Wellington looked good, felt strong. He said his grappling was good, and so that's probably the game plan. Take Sam Alvey down and submit him. Sam's super tough. Wellington's chin, sorry, my eyes are so dry. Wellington's chin there's no way it's fully recovered. Now, he was just put out 2 months ago, less than. So there's no way his chin has recovered. It wasn't great. And then he got knocked out, and it's only been 2 months. I don't know if it's recovered, but he probably has the right game plan. Grapple. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in that fight. Wellington's my pick, but no money. I've got nothing on that. Nothing. And that's the thing. We break down 13 fights, 15 fights a week. That's 30 fighters, 26 fighters, depending on the week. We do a pick for every single fight because I know you guys want that, but not every fight deserves action. Should not be betting, or not every single fight deserves money. Some are just, let's just enjoy it and see what happens. I'll walk through my DraftKings lineup real quick. Then we'll do some Monkey Knife Fight. I have $30 left. So I told you my strategy with that is every week I withdraw a bunch of money, leave some in there, play, and so on and so forth. My DraftKings lineup. So I have Barboza. I think it's a really tough fight. They're both unbelievable strikers. It's a very evenly matched fight. I think Giga obviously is younger. He has fewer miles on him. He's fresher, and he's sort of, he's probably on the upswing where although Barboza's on a 2-fight win streak, he's got to start coming back down soon. I mean, he's been through it. With that being said, Barboza does have the experience. This is a 5-round fight. Barboza has been in plenty of those. He also has the leg kicks. He's got savage leg kicks, and Giga has great kicks in general, but not really to the leg. So I'm thinking Barboza comes out there, rocks Giga's leg, slows him down, takes some of that away, and then goes to work. And that's why I have Barboza in my lineup. If you're on the other side of it, I am not going to argue you. I mean, it's too close of a fight to argue or put a pole on the ground and be like, I'm 100% positive this one's going to happen. Too many holes. But I do have Barboza 8,200. Then I've got Bryan Battle. And listen, I mentioned this. It is hard throwing a fighter in your lineup that has under 10 fights because it's just not enough experience there. There's not enough consistency there to know. With that being said, I don't think Gilbert Urbina is that good at all. He definitely didn't earn his way into that fight where Bryan Battle did. And I just think there's sort of levels to this. I think Bryan Battle, his striking is too good. And we just watched Gilbert Urbina lose a very similar fight. So he was outstruck and lost a very similar fight. So I see that happening again. I have Bryan Battle winning. He's in my lineup for $8,600. Jared, yep, you're on the Edson train. And that's the thing. That's my exact analysis as well. I have Edson Barboza winning. I have him in my DraftKings lineup. I don't have money. I didn't bet the fight, but I have him in my lineup because even if he loses, he should score pretty well. But Giga Chikadze is unbelievable. And if one of these guys beats the piss out of the other person, I wouldn't be surprised. Almost nothing will surprise me. A one-sided beating wouldn't surprise me. A drag-em-out war wouldn't surprise me, and either person winning wouldn't surprise me. They're both just that good. And if the other person is having a little bit of an off night, it's gonna be a long night. Joe, in one of your lineups, the last spot, you're stuck between Emmers, Lee, or Rodriguez, and you could afford all of them. Oof. I have Daniel Rodriguez, Jamall Emmers. Jacob's all over Pat Sabatini winning. I think Jamall Emmers wins. Jacob thinks Pat Sabatini wins. Daniel Rodriguez is probably the play there. At least it is for me. See what the chat says. And the Red Pill Owl, Battle has nowhere the power that Gore has, though. You're right. But he does have the volume, and he's more versatile. And again, it's hard when you have two fighters, neither one of them have 10 fights. I just think Bryan Battle is just that much better than Urbina. He just is. Now, if we're saying, would Bryan Battle have won the Ultimate Fighter without the drop? I don't know. That's a separate argument, right? We're just Bryan Battle versus Gilbert Urbina. I think Battle wins that fight, and so I threw him in my lineup. I'd be happy with that as well because Barboza, if he loses, it's a big hit because it is later in his career and there's only so many shots he's going to get. So if he loses, it's a big hit for him. Where Giga, if he loses to Barboza, it's okay. He'll be fine. He'll get another good fight and then work his way back up. Oh, guys, I'm exhausted. 4:00 in the morning, my daughter's crying through the baby monitor for water. So I've been up since 4. Then I have Dustin Jacoby. Dustin Jacoby, a professional kickboxer, and that doesn't always matter. We've seen plenty of people move from kickboxing to MMA and struggle. But Dustin Jacoby mixes in the takedowns. Dustin Jacoby doesn't fight like a kickboxer with, the open guard that the MMA gloves go through, but the boxing gloves couldn't. So we see Dustin Jacoby fight MMA really well. He takes his kickboxing prowess and technique and power. He takes all of that and he mixes in takedowns. He mixes in, all of the other components to make him a true mixed martial artist. I love him in this fight for sure. And then we have Muradov. I have Muradov over Mearshart. Listen, at the end of the day, Mearshart's a very good grappler. if he can get it to the ground. He's not a wrestler. He struggles getting people to the ground to the point where half the time he doesn't even look for takedowns. He just hopes you take him down. And that's just not going to happen here. Muradov's boxing is too good. He's too crisp. He's too powerful to even mess with the ground. He's just going to light up Meerschaert, probably put him away and put him away somewhat early. So I love Muradov in my DraftKings lineup, and I have him in my Monkey Knife Fight Knockout Kings. Let's see. Bub Collins, can you explain why you like Razak Al-Hassan? I know I butchered the name. It's almost spelled correctly. Listen, I picked DiCarico to win the fight. But when you build a DraftKings lineup, you need a few underdogs. So I couldn't afford all favorites, obviously. And if you look at that mid 7,000 price point, there is nobody there that I think is going to win. Nobody. So I have Daniel Rodriguez, one underdog, and then I need another one. So, Abdul Razak Al-Hassan, 10 first-round knockouts. 10. Every single one of his wins is a first-round knockout. So he's got stupid power. He also is very high-level judo guy. So he's got really good throws. He's got submission on the ground. We've seen him get away from that because he has had success with the power in his hands. So he hasn't really leaned on his judo. His back is sort of up against the wall. He's had a couple of losses. Things aren't going well for him. I'm hoping he comes out with that same hand power and speed and then goes to his judo. If he doesn't get an early knockout, I hope he goes to his judo, gets a throw, and works from there. So I have him in my lineup. I don't necessarily, I picked against him in my pick, but I have him in my lineup because you have a budget to work with. And at that price point, he is really live for a first-round knockout. And he's got 4 losses. 3 of them are decision, and I think 2 of them are split. So when he loses, he doesn't get starched. And when he wins, he does starch people. That's why I have him in my lineup. Jacob has the best bet, which I might grab this. Jacob has right here. Abdul Razak Al-Hassan wins inside the distance, but a decision is no action. So what that means is if Abdul gets that first-round knockout that, he's done many, many, many times before, Jacob will get paid at minus 115 odds. If he loses a decision, then you get a refund. Simple. You don't lose any money. You get a refund. It's like, hey, thanks for playing. Here's your money back. So I love that bet. I mean, if you just straight up bet him to win by knockout, you'll get much better odds. But I like the insurance because he's probably not, going to win by knockout. But throw a little money on there and it covers you a decision loss. Great. So I love that bet quite a bit. But hopefully that answers your question. That's why I have him in my lineup. It's definitely an uphill battle. DiCarico, very good kickboxer. Very good kickboxer. He works in kicks really, really well. And he's going to keep it on his feet. He's got decent takedown defense. And if they go strike for strike, DiCarico won't have the power that Razak Al-Hassan does, but he definitely has the technique and the volume to beat him. So, it'll be interesting. Yeah, he doesn't use his judo. That's what I'm saying. He has it in his back pocket. Like, look it up. He's a very, very good judo practitioner. Very good. But he fell in love with his hands. It's almost like Tyron Woodley later in his career. Very, very good wrestler. But he knocked a few people out. He just stopped wrestling. Just stopped. Didn't shoot. Didn't defend takedown. Just stopped wrestling because his hands were so good, or at least he had some success. And it's the same thing with Razak Al-Hassan. Hopefully, he'll make the right adjustments. Giovanni Kyle, D-Rod, your lock of the week. I think Lee will try to keep this on the feet and box Rodriguez. If that's Kevin Lee's game plan, then he's in for a rough night. So I have Daniel Rodriguez winning as well. I'm assuming Kevin's going to try to take it to the ground. That would be the smartest thing to do, but you never know. Jesse, I see Derek Rodriguez do high strike damage to keep Lee from takedown attempts in the first and will finish Lee by the third. No way decision. D-Rod will be robbed again. Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting, I have in my knockout kings, I'm expecting some sort of stoppage by Derek Rodriguez, but Kevin Lee is a veteran. He's fought everybody. He's mixed it up with some of the best people to ever do it. So, if it goes to a decision, it wouldn't be shocking. I mean, Kevin Lee is tough. I'm picking against him mostly because his knees are beat up. He's coming up in weight. He'll be smaller, but we'll see what happens. Talking for hours on end will ruin your throat. I don't know why listen, you guys know how I am with names. No surprises here. We finished up my lineup. So I said Muradov. I just talked about Razak Al-Hassan, and then Daniel Rodriguez. So I see him winning this fight. I really, really do. I mean, Kevin Lee would surprise me if he came out there, got takedowns, and won that fight. That would surprise me. Daniel Rodriguez has decent takedown defense. It's not great, but it's decent. And Kevin Lee's got busted up knees, and he's small. So I just, I see Daniel Rodriguez winning this. Guys, if you're watching this stream and you're new here, like the stream, hit subscribe. Costs you nothing. It's incredibly helpful. It basically tells YouTube, hey, this is good content. You should share it with other people. So that would be very, very appreciated if you did that. Let's look at Jacob's lineup. So he has Giga Chikadze. We're split on the main event, but again, it's so razor thin. It's not, I'm not going to kick and scream and fight and argue. It's very, very, very close fight. Then he's got Vanessa Demopoulos over JJ Aldrich. He just thinks Demopoulos' jiu-jitsu is just that good. She'll pull off a submission and get it done. And Manny Martinez over Cannetti. Listen, if Manny Martinez didn't miss weight and his coach didn't just die, he's a lock. Couple random variables. We'll see what happens. I don't know how he's dealing with his coach's death. I don't know how he's, why he missed weight, whether he was unprepared or it was on purpose. He is big as hell. Big as hell. Maybe it was on purpose. He didn't want to keep cutting. I don't know. Muradov, for all the reasons I said, stupid power, really crisp striking, and Mearshart, very good on the ground, but no takedowns. So how are you going to get it there? He's all over Pat Sabatini. Pat Sabatini is Jacob's lock of the week. He's, his striking is good. It's probably not as good as Jamall Emmers, but it is good. And he's got takedowns and very good grappling, and that's what Jacob's leaning on. So I picked Emmers to win, but I think Pat Sabatini is a pretty good underdog if you feel strongly. And then he's got Tershos over Heisand. Tershos is just an absolute wild man. Dude does not sit still, all over the place, throws crazy, smiles, bounces, all sorts of nutty stuff. And he may just be, and Heisand's a good grappler, but Tershos may just be too much, constantly switching stances, bouncing around it. It may just be too much to handle, and Jacob hasn't winning that fight. Let's catch up on some chat. Who do you have in the Albie Turman fight? So it's a tough fight, and it shouldn't be a tough fight, especially on paper, but it's a tough fight. So I have Wellington Turman winning over Sam Alvey because he's such a good grappler, and he's training at Glover Teixeira's gym, where I mentioned this before. I'm friends with Glover. Dan, who's on our show, is friends with Glover, and Dan was just up there training with them and called me after. He's like, dude, Wellington feels good. He feels strong. His takedowns looked on point. His grappling is obviously on point. He looked pretty good. So I have to imagine that Wellington Turman's game plan is to take Sam Alvey down and out-grapple him, which he can do. We've seen that happen to Sam Alvey before. The problem is Wellington Turman's chin wasn't great before, and he was just knocked out. I don't think he's had enough time to recover. It's been less than 2 months. And Sam Alvey's got power. So I see there being a stoppage in that fight, and it's either Sam Alvey by KO or Wellington Turman by submission. That's how I see it going, one of those two ways. Wellington's my pick, but, Sam Alvey, even though his record is abysmal, he's always in a fight. Emmers better be lower owned than Pat. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Obviously he's much more expensive. So if Pat's 79, so that means, what's that quick math? That Emmers is 83. And you're right, Alvey is not easy to take down and hold down, but Wellington Turman is if you guys are forgetting, he was a legit prospect. He came into the UFC and he was going to be the next guy that they were pushing the hell out of. some bumps in the road, but he has all the talent and ability to be that prospect if he sticks to his game plan. Alvey does not go the distance. Yeah, that fight is definitely not going to go the distance. Yeah, listen, he's got power in his hands, but okay, let's read how you very misleading comment, right? Alvey has been subbed one time in the UFC. He has 20 wins by knockout. Okay, he doesn't have 20 UFC wins by knockout. You only counted subs in the UFC, but you're not including the ridiculous amount of losses that he has. He loses all the time, every way possible. His record is abysmal. He's lost like 6 or 7 in a row. I agree. He's got knockout power in his hands. He's always in a fight, and he's much better than his record. With that being said, yeah, Wellington Turman should absolutely win this fight. People are forgetting what a prospect he was. So his chin is what worries me. But if his chin holds up, he wins this fight. It's that simple, at least in my opinion. If his chin is not a factor, he's the better grappler, and I think he's honestly the better striker. He just doesn't possess the same power, and his chin isn't great. But, you know, I think people are dogging Wellington. It's funny, right? People are dogging Wellington based off his recent performances, but not Sam Alvey based off of his, which have been miserable for a very long time. Let's see. People remember that Turman fight is very low volume. Yeah, I don't imagine there's going to be a ton of strikes in that fight. Alvey is a fade. Yeah, I mean, if Alvey was $6,900, go for it, right? He's always live for that knockout, but not at a reasonable price point. What do you guys want to see? Bets, more DraftKings, Monkey Knife Fight? What do you want to see? And you know what? I'm going to put eye drops in while I wait for the chat. Don't mind me doing this. Told you I've been up since 4 because my daughter was crying through the baby monitor and I can't fall back asleep. I don't have that ability. Jacob is actually literally napping right now. I texted him, he didn't answer, which means he's taking a nap. He's a grown man. He's napping. Well, I'm here working. So I just, very big deal. I just walked through this. I picked Razak Al Hassan. A, yes, because he's cheap. B, his 10 wins are by first round knockout. So he is very, very live. Oh, man, those eye drops are burning. He is very, very live for a knockout. And C, when he loses, don't mind the weirdness with my eyes. Oh, my God, they're burning. When he loses, it's by decision, right? He's got 4 losses. 3 were decision. I think 2 were split. So he doesn't, It's an uphill battle for him in this fight for sure, but if he wins at $7,300, he's going to absolutely smoke in the points because it'll be a first-round knockout. Y'all rack me up, Sharp Schultz. There was a comment I saw right here, Jared. Yes, I do think Muradov gets it done inside the distance. For Mearshot to win, he needs to get a takedown, which he is not good at takedowns. That's the only way he'll win is on the ground, and he can't get it to the ground on his own. And Muradov, why would he take it to the ground, right? His kickboxing and his boxing is just so clean and so crisp. I think he puts a desperate Mearshot away. What's up, King Rob and Jill? Can we play 10 times or 25 times on Monkey Knife Fight? Let's pull up Monkey Knife Fight. They lowered the odds again. So basically, we have been murdering them every single week. So they've lowered some of the payouts, which sucks. But it is what it is. So let's take a look. I only have $30 left because I've already played a ton of lines. So I've got $30 left. Let's see how I should spend that $30. Let's look at the all-day slates. And yes, Jacob is napping. Let's see. Jacob is not present because he don't want to get called out on his lock of the week. Well, he won lock of the week last week. And I picked against the lock this week, but Pat should be live. So we'll see. If Jacob hits a little streak, he'll be about as unbearable as Jake Paul. Yeah, Joe, I'll have you on in a minute. Let's get through some of this stuff, and then I'll bring you. Sorry, I'm not 100% today. I'm exhausted. Not feeling great, and hopefully it's not Rona. So let's take a look at, and I see there's a bunch of you in here. So like the stream, subscribe if you're not subscribed. I'm walking through Monkey Knife Fight. If you don't know what this is, sorry for everybody who does. Here's my sales pitch. If you don't know what this is, essentially you grab a couple fighters and then you say if you think they'll land more or less than the strike line in the middle, and you can triple your money. You can 2.5 times your money. You can triple your money. You can go all the way up to 20 times your money, depending on what you play. WeWonPicks.com/MKF. We do have a promo code, WWP. If you use the promo code, instant deposit match. Okay. So Bearded Ninja says, if anybody wants to play D-Rod and Lee, it's in the slate for 3 times. Let's take a look. I don't. Let's see. Is it this one? It might be random because I don't see that one. Yeah, it might be different for different people. That's not the one that I see. Unless you're looking at fantasy points or rapid fire. All right, I'm just clicking around like crazy, just talking nonsense. Let's go through a few of these. We have Giga Chikadze, 76.5. Vanessa Demopoulos, 74.5. It's a hard line. More or less. And these ones I will split. So I talk about I don't really like splitting often, the more versus the less. But these ones I'll split because they're not fighting each other. So they're 2 completely independent fights, and it doesn't matter what one does. Ryan Wilson, what's the most confident pick? Well, honestly, I think the most confident pick, the odds are correct this week. So Muradov is one of the most confident picks for sure. Main card slate. Ninja, let's go look. We'll go through a few of these. I don't love this. I only have $30 left. So what I do every week is I play every dollar I have, and then I'll withdraw. Depends how much I win, $100, $200. Depending how much I win, I'll withdraw most of it, and then I'll leave $100, $200 behind, and then play again. So I've only got 30 left. And this week I've been doing $10, $20. I think I put 50 on Knockout Kings, which is so stupid. But all right, we'll see. Let's go through a few of these. I like rapid fire, so I don't like this line enough to choose a side. If I was going to play this, probably more on Chikadze and less on Demopoulos. But I've only got $30 left, so let me take my time, pick a good one. Let's see what the next one is. Dustin Jacoby at 79, Brian Battle at 76. I hate the 70s. They're so tough because they're like right in the middle. And that's what Chris talked about. If you watch that breakdown, he says, come Saturday when the general public is playing these lines, they suck, which these lines do suck. So skip fantasy points. Let's take a look at rapid fire. Rapid fires are nice because I just need to grab who will do more. The line doesn't necessarily matter. So Edson Barboza, dude, Ricky Tershos, 44.5, or Giga and over Dustin. Oh, crap. What would you guys do here? I mean, Ricky, 44.5. They're giving him 44.5 strikes. You got to take that, right? 44.5. Dustin and Giga's only getting 3.5. That one's Giga's got 5 rounds, and he's getting more strikes. What am I doing? That's not. I'm going to play this one. $10. Let's play it. 10 to win 30. We'll lock that in. Let's see. Let's grab a new one. I've only got $20 left. Let's go to. We'll go to slates. Let's move over to a 4X. These used to be 5 times your money. Oh, it is 5 times. Oh, it must have been in protection mode the other day. Because I saw 4X the other day. And now it's back up to 5. So that must have been protection mode. I thought they lowered the odds on us again. So they must do protection mode now for the slates, which they didn't do before. So good. That's reassuring. Like we are crushing them, which, you know, good for us, right? That's the point. Let's take a look at the chat. Bearded, you and I went at it this week. And listen, I'm from the Northeast. I will argue with anybody all day every day till I drop. I will never give in to anything, literally from the Northeast. So nothing like arguing. Good argument to get my day going. No, here's my strategy. Very big deal. I literally play every dollar I have. And you see the odds, you 2 times your money, or sorry, 2.5 times your money, 3 times, 5 times, 20 times, whatever you want to play. So I play all of it. I'll always win something. Usually, I don't know if I've had a week where I lost any real money. I think I lost like $2 one week. Every other week I'm up big time money. Because you 5 times, 3 times, 20 times if you want. So I play every dollar. And then on Sunday, I withdraw anything over 100, typically, sometimes 2 if I want a lot. I'll withdraw all of that. I'll leave 100 or 200 in, and then I'll play it, and then I move on from there every week. Same process. And for me, when I talk in units for Monkey Knife Fight, it's $10 for the most part. But again, if you have $10 to win 30, you play that 10 times because I'm playing with $100. It's $300 if you hit all of them, right? King Rob, it is up. Joe Todoro set it up. So if you go into the DraftKings league, it'll be the one set up by Joe. And I set it up so anybody can create a contest in there. And I'll tell you why. Some people were talking about, hey, I'd like to do $2 contest, $3 contest. So I said, you know what? If people in the league want to create contests, they can. As far as us paying out winners, that will only be for the big official one. So going forward, I'll literally name it official. And then that's the one that we pay out the winner. All the other ones, if you guys want to make contests and compete with each other, go for it. Doesn't matter to me. Rapid fire is tempting. Kevin Lee is in big trouble tonight. I hope so. I've got a money line bet on him. On Daniel. I've got him in my DraftKings lineup. It's hot as hell here. I need to lower the thermostat. So I'm all over Daniel Rodriguez this week. So 75. What the hell is my wife thinking? So I'm all over that. I won 20 times my bet cost last weekend. You won a 20x. Is that what you're saying? Good job. Congrats. So, Mr. S, I will get one this year. We have only, or Mrs., I don't know what that is. We just started doing Monkey Knife Fight. How long has it been, guys? 6 months? 5 months? So it hasn't even been a full year. So I will have to pay taxes this year because I'll be well over the earning limit, which I forget what the limit is, but it's, I've pulled out quite a bit. Okay. We have our first 3 for 3. We have Petrosky 113 less. Mano Martinez. Oh, these are fantasy points. Oof, good thing I noticed that. Oh, fantasy points. I'll do less. I'm not going to play this. We'll do the strike line. These are fantasy points as well. Why? And these are strikes. Literally, the label is wrong. Up top where it says more or less fantasy points, that's strikes. They just got the label wrong. Okay. Edson Barboza, 127. Ricky Tershos, 83. Dustin, I hate these lines. Let's see what the next one is. God damn it. All 70s. I don't like it. I'm not going to force anything I don't like. Should we look at a 4 for 4? 8 times our money? Ugh, these lines all suck. I'm not going to play any of these. 600 is the limit to pay taxes. I've blown past that. So I will also be paying taxes this year. Swipe to choose game is currently at featured. If you change to all, you'll find more. What are you talking about? Yeah, I'm just doing, let's see. Because I'm doing slates. My wife is calling me. I swear to God. Hello? That I'm on a live stream and you called me? She started. She's probably pissed. She started that with, you want to know what's annoying? And I don't know what she was about to complain about. But I said that I'm on a live stream when you called me. And she goes, oh, click. great. We're going to deal with that later. Women. Okay, so yeah, so I unfiltered. Let's see. I don't think that changes the slates though. Yeah, the slates stay the same, I believe, right? Because there's only two. Yeah, there's only it's the same ones. Here's what am I looking at? This is all screwed up because it says 3 for 3 and there's only 2 fighters here. It's literally all screwed up. I don't know what's going on their website, but maybe I'll take 2 and they'll 5 times my money here. Dustin and Brian, let's see. Let's see. I mean, oh crap. We'll do more and more. It's not letting me play. It knows that there's an issue. All right, let's do the deal. We'll do a couple more, and then we'll look at bets, DraftKings, all that stuff. Yeah, that's funny. She's not even home to know that I lowered that thermostat big time. Yeah, he might be. Like, obviously, the website's a little... I should text him that something's going on with the website. But, okay, let's take a look at... We'll do the main card slates. Bearded said there was a couple good here. So, let's look at 3X, Daniel Rodriguez and Kevin Lee. I've already played this less for less, but yeah, you 3 times your money here instead of 2.5 times. So an extra 0.5%. What's the next one? Same one. What's up with this website? Let's see what the main card 3 for 3 is. Come on. Giga, Daniel, and Kevin. Ooh, more, less, right? Ooh, shit. And she responded. I texted her, what's annoying? And she responded with you. Women. And I've got 2 daughters too, so my life's only going to get harder. All right, I'm not going to play any of these. Let's leave Monkey Knife Fight. We'll go back to bets and stuff. We'll check back in a little bit, see if we feel any better about these, and we'll talk about the fights. Yeah, she's pissed. Not my problem. I guess it is my problem, but okay. So I just walked through my DraftKings lineups. Let's go talk about some bets. I got money line Brian Battle -160. I did 2 units on that. I'm not confident. When I did it, I felt really good. Now, every time I talk about this fight, it's like, yeah, I think Brian Battle's going to win. He's definitely the better fighter. He should win. And then I just keep remembering, like, he has less than 10 fights. Neither one of these guys has that much experience. To throw 2 units on somebody that inexperienced was probably not the best decision. But, you know, it is what it is. So 2 units on Brian Battle. Daniel Rodriguez +126. I like that a lot. I may, depending what those odds do, I may hit that again if that goes up and I'll get even better odds. Then I got Tyron Woodley at +160. I see in the comments, Big Bob, you got it at 165. So you got another couple pieces on there. So good for you. I threw 2 units at that. I mean, we could talk more about this tomorrow, but I just don't see him losing. How's he going to lose? Like, I get it. He's old. His chin's not great, but like, he's been training combat sports for 15 years, training at a phenomenal striking gym. Like, he's knocked people out cold many times. I just don't see him losing. I really don't. Then I got a couple of prop bets. I have Gilmore Petrosky over 1.5 rounds. I love round betting, and I love when they're set at 1.5. Because I think it's much easier to go over than under when you have that kind of line. And we have grappler versus striker here. This isn't like the William Knight one where that dude has atomic power in his hands at any second. Like, in order for Petrosky to get the stoppage this early, he'll have to get a takedown and have to pound away. And it's certainly possible, and that's the goal. But it's not that easy to sneak into boxing that quick, right? And Michael Riccardi, you said not boxing, meaning Tyron Woodley hasn't been training boxing that long. Okay, you're right. Neither has Jake Paul. Jake Paul's been training boxing for 3 years. 3 years. That's like if I just started today, 3 years from now, I'm one of the best to do it. It's crazy. Where Tyron Woodley has been wearing boxing gloves, training in a gym, doing just boxing, right? Obviously training MMA, but he has boxing only classes where he's hitting mitts, only boxing, sparring, only boxing for 10 plus years. So I just listen, he's old and his chin is suspect. That's the only issue. Outside of that, I just don't see Jake Paul winning. And I'm gonna look real stupid Sunday night. But and then an Alvey Turman under 2.5 rounds. I think there's a finish here. I think Turman either finishes Sam Alvey or Sam Alvey knocks out Turman. I know Sam Alvey's super tough, doesn't get submitted all the time. But Wellington Turman is that good of a jiu-jitsu guy. So we'll see. I did the under on rounds minus 130. Age is the big issue here. That's the big issue for Tyron Woodley. I don't know. What is he? 39, 40. So age is the big issue. But it's still boxing. You can last a lot longer in boxing just because the gloves are bigger and it's not as exhausting. This might be changing the guard. The old dog has to move out for a younger dog. You talk about the Wellington Turman fight? If so, I agree. Let's look at Jacob's bets. He's got a ton. Sorry. My wife hasn't texted me back. She is pissed. He's got Pat Sabatini plus 132 units. That is his lock of the week, so he's standing by that. Good for him. Giga Chikadze plus 101 unit. I'm on the other side of that fight, but whatever side you're on, you're basically going to get even money, and you might as well grab it. I don't play those fights that could go either way. What's the point? It could go either way. But he's confident that Giga will win, and the way he sees it is even money, he'll take it. So I'm not taking it. And then Jacob has Pat Sabatini all over the place. Wins inside the distance at plus 325, and then a submission in every single round. Obviously, he can't win all of those, but his logic is if Pat Sabatini gets a submission, he'll make at least plus 1,400. Plus at least 4, 5, 6, 725, at least 1725. So I don't know why he did wins inside the distance and the submissions. Does he think there's going to be a TKO? I don't know. But, that any Pat winning by any stoppage, he's covered. So winning just a decision, he'll actually lose some money because of all the units he threw on the stoppages. And Jacob has fun when he does his bets. He doesn't think them all the way through all the time. Then he has Tercios high stand does not go the distance, which I agree with. That's a good bet. Plus 325. That is a good bet. And then Vanessa Demopoulos wins by submission. I don't agree with that, but plus 575. Why not? Let's see. So if the show ends suddenly, does that mean she pulled the internet cord? She's not home. So who the hell knows? She went to a flooring store, which I'm sure that's what she's annoyed about. You have Pat round 3 submission. Well, that pays out plus 1,800. Opinion of Makhmud Muradov, two-teamered with almost anything. What are you asking? Who you should parlay him with? Is that what that question is? Sorry. I don't understand. And then he's got more. He's got Giga Chikadze wins in the third. He said he just loved the odds on that, so he grabbed it. No real logic. Brady Hodson wins by submission. That's certainly possible. And these are Jacob's, not mine. And then he has Abdul Razak Al Hassan wins inside the distance decision, no action. That one I like. So if you look at Al Hassan's record, 10-4. All 10 wins are by first round knockout. The 4 losses, 3 of them are decisions. So statistically, he's knocking people out or losing a decision. And that's exactly what this bet is. If he wins by any stoppage, Jacob will get paid. If he loses a decision or anything other than him winning a stoppage, you get a refund, full refund, all your money back. Here you go. Thanks for playing. no skin off your back. WeWantPicks.com/bets. They are doing for football season. If you go to WeWantPicks.com/bets and grab a promo, they're doing $1,000 deposit match up to. So if you deposit 100, they give you 100. You deposit 1,000, they'll give you 1,000. And that's your money to play with immediately. So jump on that now. If you bet, even if you're a full-blown shark and you bet a ton of money on another website, why wouldn't you go get your free money? Get your free money, play with it there. Oh, Jacob, 2 seconds ago texting me, I'm at the pool. Now you're in here. So let me get this straight. You're at the pool, but staring at your phone, messing in this live chat. Nice chat, or nice try. Nice try. You just finished napping. You're laying in bed pretending to be cooler than you are. That's what's happening right now. I'm absolutely positive. Otherwise, you're an idiot. You're at the pool looking at your phone. Come on, grow up. Take a picture. Nobody believes you. Nobody. Not one person. And those are from last week. So here's DraftKings again. Let me know any questions, guys. I'll hang out for as long as we've got questions. Joe, I'll give you in a few minutes if you're around, if you want to hop on and do the ownership, and then we'll hop out of here. I'm serious. I was up all night and watched all the film. These two guys are terrible. No touch, but I'm a shark. How was the nap, Jacob? He definitely napped. I bet my, you know how I know he napped? He texted me at like 5:30 in the morning. I'm always up that early. Jacob sleeps till like noon, literally noon, 10 a.m. lately because he's a responsible adult. And so the fact that he was up that early, 1,000% sure he took a nap. And the whole I'm at the pool, bro. What a joke. Absolute liar. Still hasn't texted me a picture. So he's just a liar. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, farmer's market and then the pool. Oh, you picked out groceries. What a joke. And now you're just staring at your phone at the pool. Nobody believes you. Nobody. I don't. I know you. They don't know you. They know what you do on camera. I know you, the actual sleepyhead that takes naps with his dog. All right, Joe. I'm an adult now. No, you're not. No, you're not. What'd you have for dinner last night, Jacob? Adult. Here's a quick Jacob story. When Jacob first moved here, he ate hot dogs for not three. He didn't eat them for breakfast, right? 2 meals a day, 5 days a week. Hot dogs, microwave hot dogs. But now he's an adult. Now you're such a grown man. No, cereal's more respectable than what he ate. I get a text at 5:30. Oh, I ordered Taco Bell at 11:30 and now my stomach hurts. Okay. All right. Tum. And yes, I'm not kidding about the hot dogs. Join our live stream tonight. Ask him. Brent, no DraftKings lineup from Danny. Danny's on he's straight up out of pocket. Normally when he's out of pocket, we'll get something, right? He'll film one of the videos. You've seen him film on vacation, but this time he is legit 100% out of pocket. No, he microwaves his hot dogs. Microwave, and sometimes frozen if you catch my drift, but he microwaves his hot dogs. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. 5 days a week he was eating hot dogs. It was unbelievable. And I sent him this study, and it's amazing he's still alive if you do the math. It's embarrassing. It really, literally, there was a point in his life where I was his life coach. I'd be like, what are you doing? This is not, you are too old to be living like this. It's embarrassing. He's got a good job, a nice apartment, all that stuff, and he lives like an animal. Yeah, let's do the projections right now. Okay, Joe, I'll send you a link. I'm sending Joe a link. He'll hop on with the projections, and I'm just speaking for him. Maybe he won't. Let's see. Have you guys checked out our website yet? I've spent so much freaking time on adding matchups and stuff. Jesse with the donation. Thank you very much, Jesse. That's incredibly appreciated. And you've been such an unbelievable supporter. So thank you very, very, very much sincerely. Let's send Joe the link if you want to hop on and do projections. And I don't know how long I'll be on today. Normally I do these, and honestly, sometimes I'm on for 2 hours. I don't know how long I'll be on today because we're going to do a live stream tonight. And last week I did 2.5 hours of the pre-fight live stream and then a 3.5 hour, whatever the hell live stream. Fight Companion. That was brutal. That was a lot of time to be talking. No access to a 40 or scratcher. Who knows what that degenerate is doing right now? Who knows? Let's see. So Joe will be on here. He'll do the DraftKings projections. You guys have any questions? Let me know. We'll walk through that. I don't know how long I'll be around, but Jacob and I will do the live stream tonight as well. Can we talk about Ryan Hall and what you think his next opponent should be? Let's talk about how you're pretending that you're at the pool, but you're still just messaging in this live chat. You must be a blast at the pool, staring at your phone, towel over your legs, you chilly. I think you should change the name of the show to We Want Picks with Angelo. Yeah, I agree. I agree. This is a one-man band. Here's basically what happened, honestly. So we were doing, me, I managed Nick, I managed Dan. Jacob's my buddy who I met when I used to live in Florida years ago. And we started doing DraftKings together for years, like since 2013 or something like that. Then I started the group chat and we would just be texting picks. And then we started betting each other. And then I was like, this should be a show. So we did the show. We started back in February. In February, Nick Newell didn't have his movie coming out and wasn't training for a fight. In February, Dan didn't have to travel for work and neither did I. And Jacob was all in, doing the graphics, all that stuff. Then as time went on, we're 5, 6, 7 months in, Jacob was sick of doing the work. He doesn't want to do the graphics. So I have to do them. And I get it. And Jacob was like, I'm being transparent here. Jacob was like, listen, I want to do the show because it's fun and I enjoy doing it. I love hanging out. I don't want to have to do the graphics. So I don't want to be an owner. And this is a company. He goes, I don't want to be an owner. I want to just hang out, do my thing, and be entertaining. So we did that. But then Nick jumped into training camp for his Bellator fight. As soon as he got out of training camp, he had to promote his movie and he's moving home. So right now his life is crazy and Dan has to start traveling for work again. So this week was zero Dan, but if you go back, Dan just did our full breakdown last week, period. I don't know why I said period. He did the full breakdown last week. So he was here last week. So, Dan, was it 2 weeks ago? I forget. No, he did the full breakdown last week. So, Dan's getting in where he can. But it's me. I work from home. I do travel for work a lot. But right now with Delta flying around, my work travel hasn't been as crazy. So I've been the constant here. And Jacob's stepped it up quite a bit, honestly, showing up and doing this with me. All right, let's take a look at a few of these before Joe hops on. Yeah, I bet Jacob sent a pick. Creep. Yeah. Well, we're making money as far as picks and all that crap is concerned, and I'm making money with like the bets and all that other stuff. And YouTube, we make a little bit of money. The YouTube ad revenue is not great. So the most of the money we make is donations, super chats, and then the affiliate stuff, right? When you guys sign up for Monkey Knife Fights, sign up for Bet Online, we get paid. But every nickel goes to the website. The website is so freaking expensive. I cannot wait to be done with that bill. It'll be a few months, and then finally we'll be done with that bill. But like we bought the camera. We do a live stream tonight. That's like a stupid expensive conference room camera. The microphones, all that crap. So all the money goes right back into the channel, which is totally, that's trying to grow, right? That's what you got to do. So that's the plan. Yeah, we don't know what he's doing. We don't know what he's doing. I still think he's in bed under the covers. When Jacob naps, he naps like under the covers, shuts the lights, closes his eyes, and takes a nap. It's embarrassing. It really is embarrassing. Let's see what we got. Safer bet, Battle or Jacoby? Good question. I think you have to go Dustin Jacoby, right? Brian Battle should win this fight. Absolutely. But Dustin Jacoby should also win the fight and has a ton of experience. Brian Battle still, honestly, less than 10 fights. I don't know, how much stock you want to put on somebody who has fewer than 10 fights. So I would say between the two of those, Dustin Jacoby for sure. Petrosky, minus 230 to win inside the distance. What's your concern for him in DraftKings lineup? I don't have him in my lineup. Does Jacob? No. Yeah, I mean, he's a very good wrestler, and he should absolutely win his fight as well. So, yeah, I don't think there's the only concern at minus 230, that's a lot of money to spend on a wrestler because he could just ride out a win and not get a stoppage. Okay. Whoa, Jacob with the Dan slander. Just going to ignore that. Let's see. Oh, where do you live? We live, Dan lives in Florida, and Jacob and I live right outside of Dallas in Texas. As we grow, I mean, we have big plans. This isn't just, I know there's a lot of shows that do what we do and they do their fight picks and they move on and don't take the time to put graphics on the screen, or some don't even take the time to put up Tapology. At least put up Tapology. I think that's the lazy way out, but at least put that up. Not everybody has the ability to do graphics. We're very fortunate that Jacob knows how to use Photoshop. But anyway, we have big plans, and those plans also include doing like live events and things in person, not just Fight Companions streaming, just me and Jacob, Fight Companions, like all of us renting out a hall and doing stuff like that. Especially, I know where we are, we must have, we're almost at 3,000 subscribers, which is a ton considering we've been doing this for 6 months. We must have a lot of people in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and that will grow. So we have plans. We're in that area. If you're around, hit us up. We'll get a beer. At least tell us where the fighters are fighting out of. Where do you want to hear that? In the breakdowns? What do you mean? You want to know their gym in the breakdowns? Where's Murphy? I'm in Prosper. Jacob's in Frisco. Where's Murphy? Sabatini wins. We're going to Vegas. First, you'd have to get out of your nap bed. Then you can go to Vegas. Dan's, speaking of going, but Dan is going to Abu Dhabi for Glover's fight. Houston. I go to Houston all the time for work. I have a bunch of clients in Houston. So I just fly out of Dallas Love Field on Southwest. They do like 40 flights a day. Super easy. I like Houston, but damn, is it hot. Oh my God. Charlotte, South Carolina. Well, if you're ever in the Dallas area, Kansas City, lots of Southerners in this. Dan's going to Abu Dhabi. So Jacob's talking about, going to Vegas. Jacob is going to Vegas in September, but Dan is actually going to Abu Dhabi for Glover's fight. Him and Glover are like best friends. I mean, Glover was in his wedding. So he's like, this is a once in a lifetime get to watch my best friend fight for a title in Abu Dhabi. So I don't know if his wife cleared it. Kansas City is the South, dude. Straight up. It's the South, and everybody knows that. Do I have to pull up a map? Arkansas, that's the South. Yeah, it is hot. It is hot. Let's see. Do you have a drink? So you're not too far away, south of Allen. That's not far away at all. What is that, a half hour? Stillwater, Oklahoma. So you're a little north of us. Oklahoma legalized sports betting, right? Is that, did they just pass it and it's not implemented yet? Or are you allowed to bet on sports now? Curious about that. Frank Jadon. I got a feeling Gilmore will look a lot better than he did in his tough fight. Hope he doesn't pull off the upset. Yeah, I mean, anything's possible. And obviously Tough stopped filming a little while ago, and these guys have learned from that and have had training camps since then. So anything's possible with these Tough guys. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, getting back in the pool. Okay. Literally nobody believes you. Nobody. Arizona passports betting. Yeah, I think the closest we have is Arkansas. So I'd have to drive 4 hours to Arkansas. That's why I use Bet Online. And frankly, even if sports betting was legal in Texas, which it's not and it won't be for a long time, even if it was legal in Texas, I'd probably still use Bet Online because the odds are so good. Like legit, or sorry, not the odds, the props are so good. Like, I know somebody commented that DraftKings just added a few more props, but when I was in New Jersey, where sports betting is legal, and I was using the DraftKings app, it was like money line and round stuff. They didn't have like the wins inside the distance decision, no action. They didn't have the +3.5, and their lines with where sports betting is legal, those lines come out late. And the problem is with late lines is by the time they come out, they've copied everybody else. So it's a good line, right? Where Bet Online, which is 100% legal. I know people feel like, oh, it's an offshore website, it's sketchy. It's not sketchy at all. It's 100% legal. It's legal because it's all. I see you in the thing, Joe. So I'll put you on in a minute. Let me just finish this thought. It's 100% legal to do offshore and online sports betting and gambling. It's offshore. That's why it's legal. Same exact logic if you go on a cruise and once you hit international waters, you can gamble. So I'd probably still use them because they have the lines early. And a perfect example, if you look at the prop bet video I did for Tyron Woodley and Jake Paul, the will they touch gloves early prop bet was like no +450 or something stupid like that. And that is now adjusted down. And now that the other sports book will grab that, it'll be level. But Bet Online came out so early, it was high as hell and they got hammered. So anyway, it's not legal in Texas. So I use online sports books, but depending on what I'm trying to do, I'd probably continue to use those anyway. So let's bring in Joe. What's up, Joe? How you doing?
Doing good, man. How you doing, brother?
Good. So anybody who doesn't know, Joey is one of our loyal members here and has access to the ownership projections for DraftKings. So he's come on a few times to walk through that. You guys seem to enjoy it. So here he is again. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Just actually, as soon as you asked me to get on, I was actually just finishing the projection. So, that was actually some good timing.
And Jesse, Bet Online is matching up to $1,000. So if you go to WeWantPicks.com/bets and you grab, there's 4 different promo options, whichever one you want. If you grab one of them, they will match your deposit up to $1,000. So I don't know how much money people are willing to play with or not, but that is literally free money. So if you're looking to do it, grab the free money and go from there. They're only doing that for like 2 weeks, I think, to account for football season to promote that. And sorry, real quick, Joe, I'm just catching up on chat. Hilario, no Dan lineup this week. And Conrad, welcome to membership, my man. Enjoy your beautiful crown. Thank you very much. It's very appreciated. No lineup from Dan. He is 100% out of pocket this week, but he is not traveling or vacation or anything for the next 3 weeks. So he will be here for a while. And Conrad, a brand new member, thank you very much. And sports betting. So sports betting in person is not legal in New York. In New York, you can go to Bet Online. So you can go to WeWantPicks.com/bets, click one of those links, and you can bet online there. 100% legal. Perfectly legal. It's offshore, which is why it's legal. So onshore sports betting is not legal in New York just yet. All right, Joey, you want to walk through a couple of where do you want to start? High to low? Start in the fight order?
That's up to you. You want to go from – I know some people always wonder about main card, undercard. If you want, I'll start from undercard, work my way up to the main, just
whatever
like
you
guys
want to
do.
So yeah,
Okay.
whatever makes sense for you.
First fight is Martinez versus Cannetti. Martinez is the favorite, but as you brought up in the breakdown, who knows how he's going to be from the passing of his coach. But he does have an easier matchup. Cannetti's on the wrong side of 40, and I shouldn't talk. I'm not too far from there. I'm almost 30, but hey. I think Martinez should get the fight done. He's the higher own. He's 42% own, while Cannetti's only at 9. So everyone that knows this, I only do DraftKings, FanDuel. I don't really play FanDuel. This is all DraftKings ownership. But yeah, Martinez is at 42% own, and while Cannetti is at 9.
Wow. 42 actually seems pretty low, but I guess so.
Yeah. I think it's a bit low. Like, if you're doing like bigger GPPs, you want to take a shot on Cannetti, you could probably get some leverage.
Yeah. I mean, that's so low. Plague Runner, it's illegal in Arkansas because Arkansas has legal sports betting. That's why. So the individual laws get tricky because Arkansas, I would have to go to Arkansas if I wanted to. So I just do it online. But like Joe lives in Jersey, sports betting is perfectly legal. So you can't do bet online. So that's every state you do have a legal sports betting option. It's either online or in person, but I don't think there's any states that have overlap there. Sorry, go ahead. So the first fight was
Martinez and Cannetti.
Dramatic because giant favorite, high ownership. What do you got next?
Next is Emmers versus Sabatini, aka Jacob's Lock of the Week. I think it's a toss-up. It could be, who knows how the fight's going to go, but Sabatini does have good wrestling. BJJ. Emmers is a good wrestler as well. Mostly uses it for takedown defense, but I think he does have the +1 on striking. He's the closest person that Chikadze had a fight with. I think he'll beat him on the +1 on strikes. But Emmers is at 23%, while Sabatini is at 20%. Still some decent low because I guess people are going to consider it as a toss-up.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's basically even.
Yes.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's very interesting.
I think it could be an entertaining fight.
I think it'll be a really fun fight. I have Emmers winning, but
So do I.
I'll be rooting for Sabatini because he is Jacob's Lock of the Week, and we've been high on him in the past. So I wouldn't mind if he continued that streak. And plus, Jacob was all excited because he put us in his Instagram story. So Jacob was pretty excited about that.
Ideally, I say my heart, I'm going Sabatini because he is a PA boy, and I've seen him train with Sean Bradley and some of the guys in Philly. But my pockets are hoping Emmers.
Yeah. What do you got for
next matchup is Aldridge versus Demopoulos. The two female fights that ideally I'm going to try to stay away from. Aldridge, she's well-rounded-ish, but I guess she doesn't do nothing too impressive. Not much power, but she comes forward. She's going to maybe try to get clinch against a cage. Demopoulos, maybe in a full camp you could consider, but she's coming up weight, short notice. She does have decent strikes. She throws wild, but she does leave herself hittable and can get taken down. But if she does get taken down, I think she may welcome it because, she could win by sub. But that fight's very low owned. It's Aldridge at 13%, while Demopoulos is at 9%.
Well, because Aldridge is so freaking expensive, and Demopoulos is, and if you saw the weigh-ins, she's tiny. Like they're not even. They look like two different weight classes.
I think she's like 5'2", 5 foot.
Yeah,
she's tiny.
She's super small, super small.
I think I have a feeling before it goes to third round, I think it wouldn't surprise me if it goes to all three and Demopoulos somehow wins a round, sneaks out of a round. Possibly, it wouldn't shock me because Aldridge does tend. I think from Aldridge fights, she does better when the competition level is a bit higher, but when it's lower, I wouldn't be shocked if she tends to underperform.
I think JJ Aldridge just bullies her. She's small. I think she just bullies her, holds her in the cage, takes her down, sort of beats her up there. But what's next? Jacoby and Stewart?
Jacoby versus Stewart. By the percentages, they're considered this another toss-up, even odds. Jacoby's at 20%, while Stewart's at 21%.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. I mean, that's interesting. So a lot of people on Darren Stewart's side, even though he's riding a little bit of a loss streak, we've seen his chin get tested. And I know he's less expensive, but he's not like 6,800. I mean, I'm surprised he's as highly owned as he is. That's surprising.
I think that's, like I said, most of these percentages, I don't think all of them are going to be the same. I think they're taking these odds percentages as like a GPP type. Of course, cash, some of them are going to be way higher, some are going to be way lower. Yeah. Next up, the fight I couldn't make my mind up until before I got on. Alvey versus Thurman. Another toss-up. People don't know what's going to happen. But I do have my bet on under 2.5. I do see a finish. Alvey's at 22%, while Thurman's at 23%.
Wow.
Another even odd.
Yeah, that's yeah. Well, and the Alvey one I actually kind of makes sense to me because he's pretty affordable. Live for a knockout. But and he looked massive. If you saw the weigh-ins, he's like in a different weight class.
Oh yeah, he always looks a lot better at 185.
Yeah, he's absolutely huge. So, cool. Now you have Abdul Razak Al Hassan
versus the Chico, the Italian. That fight's to me another one. It could be a toss-up. Al Hassan, just at his price alone, could absolutely break the slate if he gets a first-round knockout. Then his opponent, he's a decent, good counter striker, but his volume absolutely is horrendous. But the ownership for that is 26 for Al Hassan's opponent. I can't even pronounce his last name for some reason. Was it Chico? There you go. 26 for him, and then Al Hassan's at 25. Another almost even when it comes to percentage-wise.
That makes sense to me because Razak Al Hassan is so cheap that, of course, people like me are going to throw him in your lineup even if you're not sure how it's going to go. So that makes a lot of sense to me. And his opponent should win. So it makes sense. So it makes sense that both of these guys are pretty evenly owned because there's upside to each. It's the razor-thin fights or the fights where, like, I think Justin Jacoby blows through Darren Stewart. I don't think that's a close fight at all. I don't know why the ownership would be so close.
Because I think most of them see like the high odds percentages for some of the higher 9K, and they might try to slam some of them in, and then look towards like the bottom of the pool for the low 7K. Or even I've seen some people try to go Mearshart, which that fight's actually up next. It's Madulov versus Mearshart.
Conrad asked if we would throw merch at the winners of the contests. We could do that right now. We literally send money. So if you win, I send $15. Now that you're a member, if you win, you'll get $30. We could convert that to merch. So the way the merch works, I don't have like a box of stuff. We literally order it on demand. It's called like print. I forget what it's called. We order it on demand, but we could definitely convert to that. I was doing straight cash because that seems to get people more excited. But merch would make more sense because then we got our stuff out there floating around. So yeah, it's something we could definitely consider, and we may just get a whole bunch of merch made and ship it ourselves instead of relying on other people. Sorry, go ahead. Now we have Mearshart and Murdoff.
Yeah, Murdoff, one of the biggest. I want to say he's like the biggest favorite on the card. Last time I saw his odds were like minus 700. Last time I saw earlier.
Yeah,
I think I got him at. I got him at minus 700. Holy crap! Just part of a mini parlay. Yeah, he's currently at 48%, while Mearshart is at 6%.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I know for people that play cash games, double ups, Mearshart's probably going to be not Mearshart. Miradov's going to be one of the locks. But
yeah, he'll be in everything.
Yeah. One thing I also got the bet on was over under on rounds, over 1.5. I don't see him winning round one. He's more of a patient fighter. You've seen most of his fights, he drags it into the later rounds. Then last fight against Sanchez, finished it third round. Then he got like a third round decision. I can see him. He's just going to drag it out. Try to avoid maybe some of the clinches of Mearshart because he does have a clear way to win. He could get a hold, get on his back, pull guard, and maybe pull a sub. It's possible. But I think Mearshart is one of the safer plays. So if you're doing cash, go ahead. If you want to get different in big GPP, if you think he may not score a lot, hey, stay away from the fight in general.
Yeah, I mean, I think I didn't touch. Usually, when I see 1.5 lines, I go the over. I didn't touch it just because I think there's just such a big discrepancy. But that may be one that I sneak in later today because, yeah, I mean, you're right. He's not just crushing people in 10 seconds. So.
Yeah, like some of your previous breakdowns, you pretty much got me into looking at the over 1.5 for majority of the fights. But the next fight, like I said, usually I go over. I have this feeling this next fight's gonna go clearly under. It's Petrofsky versus Gilmore. I've seen Petrofsky live. He's a strong wrestler. Not the best overall crisp striking, but he'll throw it just to get in close and close the distance. But Gilmore does have decent power, even though he didn't show it during the tough series. He took his short notice, got dragged down, got his neck taken. But full kick.
You keep doing what you're doing. I gotta go to the bathroom real quick.
All right, you're good. Don't worry about it. I got the screen up if I see comments. So Petrofsky, he originally trained in Jersey. He also now trains in PA with guys like Brady. He trains with guys with like Sabatini. So I think this is an easy cakewalk for Petrofsky. He's getting his debut. And because ideally, I heard the rumor was it was going to be him and versus Urbina before Trishan Gore got taken out. So now Gilmore's up here for another short notice fight. Ideally, if he does come back, he maybe get another chance. He may go to 170, which he had some fights in, but Petrofsky's at 55%. He's the highest owned. And I think his odds, I got his odds at plus 600 in part of my money parlay. So Petrofsky's at 55%. In GPP, I don't recommend this in cash. If you want to get very wide in GPP, which if some people do want to win a big GPP, Gilmore's at 6%. Gilmore has that puncher's chance. If he lands on his chin, he could knock out Petrofsky. It's very much possible. Hold on, I'm just opening my phone up, see in case you guys have any comments. Let me see. I don't think Awesome has the better ups. Okay, guys, I just got my phone up, so I'll see comments pop up on my my phone. So yeah, the two safest guys were Petrofsky at 55% and then Miradov. So if you want to do cash games, that's where most people will probably go. You can definitely beat some of the guys in, double ups, but both of those guys will be the chalk. Next fight is Kevin Lee versus Daniel Rodriguez. Who knows what Kevin Lee is going to look like at his debut at 170? As if you watched in the breakdowns, he does have two bad knees, but he's also a well-rounded, decent striker with good kicks. But Daniel Rodriguez, good footwork, very good crisp boxing. Okay, I'm just reading the chat. But the ownership on that is currently on the favorite of Kevin Lee. Kevin Lee's at 35%, while Rodriguez is at 26%.
Really? That's surprising.
Yeah. But yeah, just to recap what you missed, the Petrofsky, he's the highest owned on the slate. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yep. I'm surprised.
Okay, yeah. Just because probably the short notice twice of Gilmore, one on the show, now one on this. Because the original, it was supposed to be Petrofsky versus Urbina. And that, of course, that didn't happen. But I would have loved to seen battle with the rematch of Petrofsky. Because Petrofsky was actually winning that fight before he got caught.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Lee, 35. Rodriguez, 26. I'm more on the Rodriguez side. He has the volume, the boxing, the footwork, decent takedown defense. Like I said, I brought up the knees. The knees of Lee scare me.
He's beat up, man. He's definitely the more well-rounded fighter, but he's just so beat up. I just don't know if he can continue to do what he does at a high level. So.
Next one is the first fight of the Ultimate Fighter finale. It's Turcos, Ricky. Okay, Pretty Ricky, how, we go off that. And then Brady Highstand, which I think that fight's going to... I think Ricky will control it with the pace, the striking. But Highstand, if he can get that body lock, maybe get a clinch, If he gets a hold of Ricky at all, I think the fight could be over quick. He trains with Chiesa. He is at a decent gym. He's young as hell. He's only 22. But so if you want to look at that, it's just the level of competition that Brady's been through. He hasn't been through the best guys. But through the tough house, he actually went through two good, you could say, veterans of the show.
Yeah.
And showed impressive. And he wasn't even 100% during that whole series. He had an injury throughout. And so this is where the ownership is getting very different.
Yeah.
A lot of people are on the underdog. So high stands at 34%, while Turcos is at 17%. They just see Brady as a good potential paydown option with, upside of maybe a sub finish. But if you want to get different, like I said, Ricky is a good, well-rounded. He could score. He strikes out of his mind. Even his Contender Series loss, he was looking good into that fight until he got caught.
Yeah, that's interesting. And then, so Plague Runner said he's torn between Al Hassan and High Stand. High Stand is probably the safer pick between the two, but Al Hassan would score way more points if he wins.
Yeah. If Al Hassan wins, it's going to be one of those bull rush, probably within under 2 minutes in the first round. High Stand, he can possibly get a first round if he gets the body lock clinch for a takedown. Maybe flattens him out with a TKO or sub. Or, who knows, maybe he can win a 3-round decision with takedown control and a few takedowns. Maybe he can score decently well off a decision. But if you're looking for a finish, more safer finish, Al Hassan, if you want a safer win, I'll probably say High Stand.
Plague said, well, who has lower ownership? Al Hassan was like 30 or something like that. What is Plague
Al Hassan's at 25, and then Brady's at 34. So if you want to get the lower ownership and the lower price fighter, it's going to be Al Hassan.
Yeah. Cool. Then the co-main, right?
Yeah, the co-main, the 185 finale, Battle versus Ubina. I actually looked into this, I believe, after you said it. Battle had no type of MMA type of training at all before getting into amateur. That blew my mind. And I was like, I don't know. And then he said he'd be like Impa Asaganai, like during his amateur, which I guess that was when Impa was at 85. But yeah, that kind of blew my mind. Then he was the last pick on the show. And first fight he went against, I don't even know who the hell he went against his first fight, but he went against a guy that let his hands down, chin up, one of those tough international fighters. And then his second fight against Petrovsky in the quarterfinal, he ended up being back and forth, getting tripped, getting takedown, but he ended up getting good takedown defense, getting back up against the cage. Then he ended up catching a submission. While Ubina ended up going against Gilmore, short notice, bullied him, pretty much took his back, subbed him. Then went against Gore, where first round was decent, bit of a feel, but Gore, every time Gore touched him, he fell. His chin, he got his chin too high. But then second round, Gore just shut the lights out and did his little wannabe Mark Hunt walk away and got his finish. I think, like I said, Battle is the safer pick, but I don't think he has the striking of Gore. He's more, volume. He'll throw the jab out. For sure. But Urbina, he does have decent wrestling. He didn't need to show that much, and I thought he was going to try to show it against Gore, which, I guess that wasn't the plan. But Urbina has the wrestling, and I think the jiu-jitsu's close. But I think Battle, he's the true finalist. I would say Battle. I think that fight wouldn't shock me if it goes to decision, or if Urbina tries to think he's a striker again and leaves his hands down. But Battle's at 27%, while Urbina's at 18%.
Okay, well, that's closer than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
And then what do you got in the main event? This one should be interesting.
Barboza versus Chikadze. Probably two of the scariest strikers in that division. I was torn on it because sometimes if you want to save money, go for the dog. But I think the odds are actually even. But Chikadze is currently at 35%.
Who is?
While Barboza,
Giga's at 35%?
Yeah, 35%. While Barboza's at 40%.
Oh wow!
And I actually have a bet on Barboza. Like I think the first couple rounds, Chikadze is going to have to feel out. He might get the kicks going. Throw some jabs. But usually in the last couple fights, you saw after like the 10-minute, 11 to 12-minute mark, he slows down a little bit. I do like Barboza's overall. What's the word I want to use? What's the word I want to use for this? Experience. There you go. Yeah. I had to think about the word. He has experience. He went against top-notch talent. And I think between either rounds 3, 4, or 5, I don't see it going to judges. Somebody's going to end up falling. And I'm hoping between rounds 3, 4, or 5, Barboza gets a finish so I can smash one of those odds. But
yeah,
even if you do like, oh yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, and
GVP, I took a risk.
I'm surprised the ownership isn't closer, especially with Giga being the cheaper fighter. I'm surprised Barboza is clearly the more higher owned fighter. That's surprising to me.
Usually, especially when it's 5 rounds, I thought the overall 5 round of that main event would have just probably boosted them almost in the 50-50s mark.
Yeah, I agree. Especially because chin versus chin, I would assume Giga has a better chin. He's got fewer miles on him.
Yeah.
So. All right, well, I'm going to hop off in like 5 minutes and relax because we're doing a live stream tonight, so it's a lot of camera time. But if anybody's got questions, ask now or forever hold your peace. This is a normal time fight card too, so main card is 10 Eastern. So this is just pay-per-view fight times basically. So, which I don't mind. I would prefer to start at 9 than at like 3 in the afternoon. Those are the worst.
Yeah.
So we'll give it like 1 more minute to see if any questions come through. What are Dan's picks? I have nothing from Dan. Sorry, guys. Dan is he's out. He's on vacation and like hard. Like no access to his phone. He texted yesterday saying, sorry, just landed. And I was like, I gave him a hard time about whatever. And then I haven't heard from him since. Like he is out. So nothing from Dan this week. But then he is back at home. No work travel, no personal travel for 3 weeks, he said. So he'll be here for everything the next 3 weeks.
So, Angelo, before you get off, think I can get your opinion about these over-unders?
Sure. I'll show you what I played. I only felt comfortable with these 2.
Those are 2 I actually got. The same ones I got, but I got for different odds. The other one, Petrofsky, I got minus 165, under 1.5. Oh, I actually did one under. I did that. No.
Somebody asked what Emmers.
I went under 1.5. I think Petrofsky's going to get that takedown and beat Gilmore.
So I got real quick, Jamall Emmers' ownership was like 30%, wasn't it? Somebody just asked.
Emmers 23.
23. Okay. All right. Sorry. Go ahead with the lines.
No, it's all good. Gilmore, Petrofsky. I picked the under because, like I said, once it gets taken down, there's levels. We got the same Alvey Thurman under 2.5. I got that minus 115. Mearshart and Miradov, I don't know. I got that over 1.5.
That one, it might be. I mean, that I did not play that one because I think Mearshart, I just don't even know how the hell he's going to win. But because he's not going to get it to the ground, so that just means he has to survive getting punched in the face for that long, which he might. So I don't know. I haven't done that one yet, but I do like overs on 1.5 in general.
And the last one I got is Cannetti Martinez. I only did this over, and this one was over 1.5 because a lot of people think Martinez round 1, he's going to catch Cannetti, but who knows what Martinez's overall mindset is going to be as soon as he walks in that cage. He might be a little rusty round 1. So I may be able to slam dunk that over 1.5.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
that's all the ones I got. I did 5 over unders.
Yeah, I mean, I like them. I like doing over unders on rounds a lot. It's much easier than picking fights half the time, especially on the close fights. And I love overs on 1.5s, but that Muradov one, because like I said, I just don't know. Mearshart would have to just like tangle him up and hold his arms to his side otherwise he's just a punching bag for 7.5.
Pretty much. Maybe try to get kicks going and then maybe try to get a clinch. That's about it. Because I'm not saying he doesn't have wrestling, but he doesn't show pure double leg, single leg trips. He just tries to pull guard.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. And then Conrad, you're asking what the value of a unit is. Listen, I know what Dan's is. I don't want to, that's kind of personal, right? I don't want to.
He's told me one of his before, and I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, well, we can ask Dan next time Dan is on here if he wants to say what his unit is. It's a high number. It's much higher than mine. And Jacob's is lower than mine. So you can ask them what their units are, and they'll tell you. But basically, the point of displaying in units and not dollar amounts is so that you can get a level of comfort, right? Even if a unit is only $10, that just means that's what I'm comfortable betting. So for me to say 2 units means I'm comfortable with 2 units worth of money here. I'm very confident in this fight. Where if you look at Dan's, that's why Dan's units, you see a lot of 0.25, half, stuff like that. That's because Dan's betting so much that a quarter of a unit is still a lot of money. So mine's a normal human amount of money, if that helps. Jacob's is a little less.
So are mine.
And Dan's is not a reasonable amount of money, which is why he's the degenerate. But it's also why his bets are more. Mine are super. You would think his should be conservative. Mine are conservative because I'm just like, this is what I think will happen. Dan's more strategic. That's why Dan will have like 15 bets, and he's doing half here, half there, quarter here, quarter there, and just splitting it up. And at the end of the day, it usually works out for him, but it's a much more strategic approach. I'm going to drop, but somebody did just ask, and then Ace of Spades answered, Vanessa Donopoulos' ownership is 9%. So,
yeah, very low. So GPP, stab only.
Yep. Well, thanks for hopping on, Joe. Everybody else, we'll be back on here in a few hours. That's why I'm dropping. So we're going to do a full fight companion live stream like we did last time. Have some drinks, watch the fights. We'll have the fight stats up and just hang out. So we'll see you guys then. It's 9 Central is when the main card kicks off. We'll be doing that. And I'll be monitoring the comment section and stuff. So feel free to comment on videos. Joe, thank you. Anybody watching, if you're not a subscriber, click subscribe. It'd be super helpful. And I'll see you guys in 6 hours and 45 minutes. Thanks, Joe.